Hello, everyone, and my name is Reverend Raymond Johnson, and welcome to Unity of Light Spiritual Center of Vestal, New York. If this is your first time joining us, we are a Christian spiritualist center with a physical location in Vestal, New York, whose mission is to spread light, love, and peace to all hurting world through healing, study, and seeking further spiritual enlightenment. Part of our mission is fulfilled by our members living what they believe, praying and meditating daily, and believing and being lights in our weary, fear-filled world. One of the things that drew both Reverend Pattii Yoder and I, as well as my family, to UOLSC, which is short for Unity of Light Spiritual Center, is that our leaders and mentors believe we are all in our own spiritual journey and path. There is no required to believe everything that is said or taught by other leaders. And classes at our UOLSC in Vestal Center, you are asked to take from what you hear only that which resonates with your spirit. You are encouraged to then go and pursue a relationship with your Creator that uplifts and grows you into the best human that you can become. To fulfill your mission on this earth plane and be a light to the world. Another focus we practice is energy healing. We are not doctoring medically trained professionals. We do not diagnose or advise on medical matters. We encourage anyone who is sick to seek proper medical care. For that is a miracle of our world we are blessed to have in the time we live. For those of us who relate spiritually as Christians, we do believe that the miracles Jesus performed while he lived on earth are possible, even today, because he promised us that we would do the things he did, and yes, even greater things. Thus, our center has a healing portion of our service each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. At this time, we comply with COVID restrictions with no touching, and everyone wears masks. We know Jesus healed many from a distance, and we continue to do that as well. Also, we are lights to this world through teachings at our center in Vestal, and with our YouTube channel just like this one. Our YouTube channel are lesson giving by either me or Reverend Pattii Yoder or a guest speaker, and are followed up with a meditation you can enjoy and use again and again. Anytime you wish to return to this YouTube channel on your schedule. Today I want to introduce you to a very special guest we have with us today. We are interviewing our very own church center's Donna Russin, who is our basically angel expert. We are going to interview her and let her share her knowledge of angels. If you do not have one, you may want to get a pen and paper for notes, as well as we learn many things we may have not known about our great protectors, angels. Before we begin, I would like to ask Reverend Pattii to open in prayer. Reverend Pattii, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Reverend Pattii Yoder. Please join me in prayer. Beloved Creator, thank you for this day, this venue for learning, and for our guest Donna and her desire to share her knowledge and angel wisdom with us. Please open our ears to hear that we may be better prepared to live our lives on this earth. I pray for your loving light to calm our hearts and the hearts of those in the world during days when we face uncertainty and challenges. Allow us now to be open, to be lights for you in this world. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. And Ray, back to you.
Thank you, Reverend Pattii. That was a beautiful prayer. I would like to introduce you to Donna Russin, a UOLSC teacher and mentor. Donna, please tell us what inspired you to begin this journey.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me tonight. And it's a pleasure to be here working with you, Reverend Ray, and Reverend Pattii. And regarding the question of what got me started, well, I've always believed in angels, but I had an experience about 30 years ago when I went to hear an angel teacher. And when I returned home, I remember saying, "Oh Lord, am I ever going to be healed from this sinus infection?" And I closed my eyes saying that, and I saw cherubs, angels, and they said, "Yes, you will, yes, you will." And that intrigued me, and I thought, wow, I just saw angels. And I started reading books and studying with a lot of different healers and two main angel teachers. So that got me started.
So it's been over 30 years, you said, and the next question that we have is, many of us have heard there are many kinds of angels, and each has a specific job and responsibility. Will you tell us what they are and what they do? And specifically, if you want, there is a list that most Christian angelology list of 9 levels of angels, and we want to know if these 9 levels are common outside of Christian angelology, or if there are other levels and other types of angels that might not be so good, that would be we are exposed to. So with that question, go ahead.
Okay, well, I'd like to say with the list of the angels, and most places where you look, I taught a course in angels, and I had a sheet of hierarchy of angels. Now, my sheet is could be different from a lot of different things on the internet, but basically there's the first sphere of seraphim, cherubim, thrones, the second sphere of the dominions, virtues, and powers, and the third sphere of principalities, archangels, and angels. But what I find working with the angels is that different books list them in different places. So I think what resonates with you and your experiences. Now, seraphim is supposed to be the highest of the angels, and then Archangel Michael was listed as a prince of seraphim. I don't resonate with that because the seraphim are very six-winged, a lot of light. And there was an article by a Russian cosmonaut defector that saw when he was up in space for 150 days, a bright light. And then when they adjusted their eyes, they could see it was a six-winged angel as long as a jetliner. To me, that's a seraphim. And I've seen Michael. I've even astral traveled with Archangel Michael, and he doesn't look like that. So I don't see him as belonging to the seraphim. So, and under the cherubim, there's listed Archangel Ariel, and she's the archangel of nature. And when I saw her, in fact, I was doing a psychic reading night at Unity of Light in Vesto. I thought I was done, and I was sitting at the table taking a break, and this young woman walked in, and I saw an angel behind her, and I knew immediately, it just telepathically, it was Archangel Ariel. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm not done with the reading. I have this woman, and she signed up for me. And sure enough, she worked in an animal shelter because she's also the archangel of animals. So, you know, they come in different sizes. And also what I find is what you expect to see individually is what you will see. Not everybody sees the same. And I was doing a healing on someone, and I saw Archangel Raphael in front of me. And I see the angels 15 feet tall, which is very common. Other people see that too. And Raphael came to me wearing a green robe. And then another time I saw this beautiful golden angel, and I said, who are you? Because I always teach to ask who they are. And he said, Raphael. And I'm like, wow, he was all gold. So they come to you different ways. It's not something set in stone. And also what you're expecting is usually what you get. I've had Archangel Jophiel came to me during when I was getting an attunement for it was cosmic, and he came to me just like the picture in one of my angel books, and I knew immediately it was Jophiel. So, but he could look like totally different to someone else. So that's what I find, is that there's no really accurate list. They kind of jump around, except for the seraphim being the highest. And I work on a list that has the archangels as the greater angels, and that would be Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and I would include also Metatron. And Metatron is the top archangel on the Kabbalah tree, and that would be in Hebrew. And I know Islam has, they believe in angels. So every religion has angels. And the part of the question about the dark angel, I think in the Bible, you know, Lucifer is mentioned. But when I think of dark angel and angels, I think it's an oxymoron, because angels are made from God, love and light. And if they're love and light, they're not dark. And I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never met a dark angel, ever. What there is out there, I would say, would be lower vibration, maybe some dark energy, but not an angel, because angels are love and light, and they vibrate at a very high vibration. My guardian angel, when I saw her, she was glowing, and she was, you know, above. They don't usually go below. They're usually around your crown or above. And another time I was able to film her, so I do have a video of my guardian angel on my phone. And when I studied with Doreen Virtue, I studied with her in Hawaii to become a certified angel therapy practitioner. She had mentioned that all of us are born with 2 guardian angels. And we all have guardian angels. And a message, I think it was on the list of questions, was, what do the angels tell you? They always tell you how much they love you. And angels do not have egos. They're etheric, which means they're cloud-like, like a mist you could put your hands through. They're 5-dimensional. They don't have blood and bones and tissue. So, and they don't have egos, which is pretty beautiful, because they always, always look at your light, and they don't judge you ever. They're just pure love and light.
Donna, why were the angels created or commissioned in the first place?
Well, I think it was part of God's plan, and the term angel means messengers of light, and they are light. They're light and love. And I think I work closely with Archangel Michael, and his numbers are 555. And just before I was to sit down, I saw on my phone 555, which I had been talking to him, so that was his way of answering me. And he's a protector angel. And let me tell you that before we incarnate here, we sit down with our soul master and rewrite out our lessons and rewrite for soul expansion. And we have an entry date and an exit date. And when you invite the angels in your life, and you need to invite them in because we have free will, and they will come in, they do show up. But if it's not your time to go, and you're going to be, as an example, in a car accident, which did happen to me, the angels save your life because you have a contract here and things to do and lessons to learn. So I think that your guardian angel will protect you and be with you to guide you, but because you have free will, they never take over your life. They're just there to assist. I ask them for parking spaces, and I always get a parking space. I mean, you can ask them for anything. You can ask them for abundance. You can ask them for just about anything. And they, if it's for your highest good, they always are there. And it's universal law that they're here to help us, so they always help.
Donna, you touched on guardian angels briefly. Could you elaborate more on that and go a little deeper on, does everyone have a guardian angel? And what are they like? What do they do? Maybe some features.
Yes, everyone has a guardian angel. In fact, I mentioned during virtue when I studied with her, she said we're born with two. And it's a soul contract, that they're going to be paired with you before you are born, and they stay with you. And they're here to guide you and to assist you. And once you invite them in, you can get wisdom. You can sit down, invite them in, and with a pen and paper, ask questions, and they will answer you, most likely telepathic. One time, just before I woke up, Archangel Michael shouted in my ear because he's very loud. He's a very loud archangel. And he said, "You have the power." Well, I didn't know what to do with that phrase, and I really didn't understand the power for a couple of years. And after a few retreats I went on, I realized how we have unlimited power. We're told we're limited, but we have unlimited power. And so as far as with the guardian angels, they work with you and stay by your side. And then the archangels that I work with, I call them in. But you can also call in, and this is very powerful, you can call in legions of healing angels. When I work with Raphael, I call in Raphael in his legions of healing angels. And I have seen legions of angels. It's wall-to-wall angels. And someone that came to my class, one of my classes, said she was a healer, and after she started calling in legions of healing angels, she saw an increase in her work as far as healing, an increase in the healing. So, they're here to help us in many ways. And I can't imagine my life, without the angels, because they make my life a lot easier. And the earth plane is very hard. And to have someone you can always call on for help is really nice. And know that they're always going to be there, non-judgmental.
Donna, many of us who attend the spiritual center in Vestal have heard you and other people who know and love and call on angels mention some words that might not be known to somebody studying this topic as a beginner. So I would like to just say a few of those names and have you cover briefly what they might relate to. The first one is Metatron and Metatron's cube.
Okay, I just want to back up for one thing I thought of, and I'll answer that about Metatron and Metatron's cube. If someone is just starting to work with angels and they're a little nervous because their religion hasn't taught them a lot about the angels, they can ask Jesus to open up the angelic realm and send in his loving angels, and that will make a difference rather than if they're nervous and just working for the first time with angels. And also, when you mention Metatron, Metatron is the archangel of sacred geometry, and he's also at the top of the Kabbalah. But Metatron, with the sacred geometry, Metatron's cube is a form of sacred geometry, taking all the 5 platonic solid shapes, and what that does is it makes a symbol of Metatron's cube, and you can place that symbol, you can call on Archangel Metatron and place that symbol over every one of your chakras. And when I do it, my whole body just vibrates. But I taught a class on that. It was very powerful. And sacred geometry, we stand in sacred geometry. And I taught classes on the topic of sacred geometry and then a special one on Metatron's cube. But since we do stand in sacred geometry, being the Merkaba, which is the triangle up, triangle down, and also the Kabbalah we stand in, it can just enhance working with Archangel Metatron and other angels to work with sacred geometry. Very powerful.
Donna, that sounds like another class in and of itself.
It actually is. It is another class, and I have done it.
Wonderful. Okay, what about the term violet flame?
Okay. The violet flame is another class too. I teach it every fall, and I'm teaching in September, so I'll probably do it October, November. The violet flame is a form, it's a healing tool. And when I astral traveled with Archangel Michael, I left my body and I was riding with him on a white horse, which the picture of that is actually in the Book of Enoch, and a holy book. And he had a sword that was on fire, and I kept thinking, his sword's on fire. And then a few years later, I was at a workshop and the violet flame was mentioned, and we worked with it. And I thought, oh, that's what he used with his sword. And I started reading about that and going to violet workshops with the violet flame. And I never had an official class in it, but I felt Spirit told me I needed to teach it. And the violet flame was used in Atlantis, and it was misused there. But now it was brought back in the 1950s, and it's very powerful. You can heal yourself with the violet flame. I've done some miraculous healing using that tool, and other people have too. And also Elizabeth Clare Prophet, she's the one that's written many books on it. In a vision, she had Jesus turning the water into wine using the violet flame. And I've healed myself with the violet flame too. So it is another class, it's a tool, and I do teach it every year.
Wonderful. And can you please tell us a little more about Michael's sword?
Yes. Michael's sword is used for cutting cords besides healing. Actually, a lot of times when I see Archangel Michael at church, I have him go around and use the violet sword on everyone to heal them. But his sword is great for cutting cords. When somebody, you can hang up the phone with someone or work with someone and they drain your energy. And what they actually do, and it's not done on purpose, but they attach an etheric cord to you and it just sucks your energy. And so what you can do, and I teach this also in Archangel Michael classes, you can call in Archangel Michael and ask him to use his sword to cut the cords around you that are sucking your energy. And you can also use your hands and you assist with him doing it, and it really works. People, when they do it on themselves, you can do it on yourself. or you can do it on others. And when I've done it on others or they do it on themselves, they say, wow, I really feel the difference. And so it's a great tool for cutting cords and getting your energy back.
Wonderful. And the last question of terminology that might be in somebody's mind, how do frequencies and healing relate to angels?
Well, angels are in a high frequency, and I am a certified sound healer, and I use tuning forks besides a crystal pyramid, which I bring the crystal pyramid to all my classes and use it on everyone. But with the tuning forks, it raises the vibration, it produces nitric oxide, which is very healing for your immune system. And I have tuning forks, they're actually angel tuners, and they're specifically for working with the angels, and they're a very high vibration. But as much as I love using these tools, you don't have to have tuning forks to work with the angels. You can just bring them in and ask them to raise your frequency. But of course, the tuning forks have a lot of benefit.
Donna, I just wanted to ask you a question about what are some signs that angels are with me, and what advice do angels have for humanity in general?
Okay, a lot of times you'll see a white feather. I know the night before I was teaching an angel course, I opened a closet and I saw a white feather float down, and I thought, well, that's them saying hello, because I was going to be teaching a class. So you can see a white feather, you can see a coin. They also will nudge you. I know my husband was working at the time, and he pulled up to a stop sign, and he said something just told him in his gut not to go. And he waited, which was very unusual for him. He was in a work vehicle. And all of a sudden, this woman came flying through the stop sign. She would have T-boned him. She would have really done serious damage. So when he told me about it, I said, well, that was your guardian angel nudging you for safety, to be safe. It wasn't your time to learn from this accident. So they can nudge you. And also numbers, the numbers 444, I saw that today also. 444, Doreen Virtue has a book of numbers, and 444 means the angels are saying hello. 55 or 555 are Archangel Michael's number, and I'm very connected with him because every time I go out, I ask for his protection from other drivers and just to be safe in my vehicle. And I always see 55, and it's usually right away on a license plate, or it could be my clock or something, but I always see it usually on a license plate. So those are some of the signs. And the message to humanity is just that they love us, and they're there for us. Because of free will, we have to invite them in. And they want to assist us in our journey here on earth. And they always say, when I meditate and bring them in, they always say, we love you. So they're very much watching over us, whether we know it or not, and their message is love and light.
So, Donna, I just want to comment on the answer that you gave here. It seems like some of the things that you mentioned about how they communicate with us, we have to pay attention to the things around us, being present to a sensation or seeing a run of numbers or things. It requires us to be observant of what's happening to and around us, and for us to really see where those angel messages are occurring.
I remember someone attending my class from church, and she told me later it was an angel class. And when she was leaving, she put her radio on, and a song came on about angels. There was the word angel in the song. And she took another one of my angel classes maybe 3 months later. She was leaving church in Vestal, and she put her radio on, and it was the same song. That's called a synchronicity. It's not called a coincidence. The angels say it's a synchronicity because they're behind it, and they're just letting you know they're there.
Wonderful. So how do we begin to contact our angels? And I think you've already told us how we know that they're with us, but how do we know what they're saying to us? So how do we contact them and know what they're saying to us?
Okay, well, the first thing you need to do is invite them in. And it's good to have a quiet place, like some soft music, or just silence, or be in nature. But if you sit quietly with some music, and the biggest thing is you invite them in. You say, angels, come to me now, and they will respond. It's universal law, they come in. And I didn't mention, a lot of beginner angel books talk about the 4 clairs. Clairaudience would be hearing. Claircognizance is a knowing. Let's see, when you see, that would be, I'm drawing a blank here, but your clairaudience is your knowing, and clairvoyant is your seeing. So there's different ways you can communicate with them that way. And also in my classes, I teach that when you go to sleep at night, before you go to sleep, close your eyes and ask the angels to show you a light. And it's like a little spark of white light. And with practice, it'll come very easily. And that's the angel saying hello. So, but the biggest thing is, because of free will, we have to invite them in, but they will come in.
Wow, I feel like we've learned so much in just a short amount of time. Donna, I want to thank you for doing this interview with us. We look forward to working with you in the future as reverends of the church, and you being one of the teachers. I wanted you to let us know when your next class was and what the topic will be.
Okay. My next class is September 13th at Unity of Light in Vestal. It's a Sunday, 1 to 3 p.m. The cost is $20, with half going back to the Unity of Light Spiritual Center. The name of this class is How to Heal Yourself. I have never done this class before, and usually when Reverend Pat asked me to do a class, I talk to Spirit and see what they have to say, and they told me I needed to do this class. And actually, I had the class set up for April 2nd, and then it got canceled when the governor shut everything down, and everything is divine timing. So it was meant to happen in September. And the class is on how to heal yourself. I'll be going over different theories, different scientific proof that we can heal ourselves. It is our birthright to heal ourselves. Our cells have a consciousness, and we are 65% water, and water has a consciousness. It was proven by Emoto, a Japanese scientist, where he said love over water, and it turned into sacred geometry. And when he said hate, it was a black blob. So we can communicate with our body. And I took a light body activation course, and our mantra was, and it's true, we are the conscious master. We are the conscious master of all ourselves. So we're in control. So if I happen to get an ache or pain, I just say, go to the light. I'm in control, and I refuse to have that pain, and it goes away because we are in control. So that's just a little bit of what the class is about. But I think it will be very beneficial for everyone that comes and learns, and that we are unlimited and we have the power, as Archangel Michael says. And I have some examples of how I've healed myself, and some Dr. Bruce Lipton, who coined epigenetics. We are not our genes, only 10%. So pretty interesting class. I hope a lot of people will come. I have quite a few signed up.
Yes, I am one of those people that are signed up. I am finally going to be able to make it to one of your classes because of my work schedule usually doesn't allow me to. But I can't wait to take the class. I want to learn all about angels and how to heal yourself, and I want to learn all of that stuff. As a quick conclusion, is there anything you wanted to cover that maybe we didn't touch on, or anything you want to say? Anything we should be looking for? Anything at all? Just
Okay, we're going to do the Angels of Four Directions, which I didn't mention, and intention is everything. You do face the east, but if you're not facing east by mistake, don't worry, because your intention is to make a sacred space. So facing the east is done with labyrinths and medicine wheels. So we face the east. We invite Raphael in for healing. We turn to the south and we invite Michael in for protection. And we turn to the west, invite Gabriel in for communication. And we turn to the north and invite Uriel in for wisdom and light. And we thank them for coming in, and you will feel a shift in energy, maybe chills, and you've created a sacred space with the archangels. Thank you.
okay. Well, I thank you for joining us, and I hope we can do this again sometime. I want to remind everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We look forward to having you back in the future. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back to our YouTube channel for extra content, meditations, lessons in the future. And at this time, go in light and go in love. God bless.